Hi everybody, happy Parder-Willi Syndrome Awareness Month. As it's the fourth day of Parder-Willi Syndrome Awareness Month, I am going to be talking to you about what it is, my case specifically on the genetics, the symptoms of it, both my and the typical cases, and what it can cause. So, what is Parder-Willi syndrome? Parder-Willi syndrome is a rare genetic disorder where it affects the 15th chromosome. And not like you would think with the Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a big duplication that you can see just by looking at the chromosome. Parder-Willi syndrome is a little bit different. Parder-Willi syndrome, you cannot see it just by reading some biology chart. Parder-Willi syndrome, you have to look specifically inside of the chromosome because it is not like Down syndrome. For the typical case, it is typically a duplication of P11 through 13, but in my case specifically, it is inside of the 16th chromosome, and it is 2 duplications of parts, which for me it is 13.11 through 12.3. So, Parder-Willi, I think as Parder-Willi syndrome, like autism, there's a spectrum. Everybody's affected differently who's on the spectrum. Just like who is hard of hearing. Like, as you can see myself as you know myself, and you can see my hearing aids on the video. For Parder-Willi syndrome, it is, some have like eating disorders. Like most people who aren't affected by like the same case as me, which there probably isn't one the same case as me, but for Parder-Willi syndrome, most have like an eating disorder. Not like when you eat too little, but it's because like they don't have the same feeling like if you're full. Which for me that isn't a symptom I have. As you can see by how close I am to the video with my lazy eye, that's one of mine, which is a common symptom. And as all of y'all know, I'm a tallie. It's actually the exact opposite with a typical symptom of Parder-Willi syndrome. And things that can cause is like ADHD, OCD, and also an intellectual disability, and learning disabilities. Such as in my case, what part of it is dyslexia. Like, y'all know I'm a math nerd, okay? Y'all know I'm a math girl. And y'all know I don't read as much as y'all think I would, as I'm a school kind of a girl. But that really isn't the case for me because of me, like, I like to read, but it's just a little bit extra harder for me, as y'all know. And then, for people who have Parder-Willi syndrome, there's also a 40% increased chance that they're autistic. And a common factor of Parder-Willi syndrome that is also linked to autism is OCD. Which, if y'all don't know by now, which I know a few of you won't know, but y'all have that excuse. But my current teacher, or some of my current teachers, mainly Miss Natya, or Dr. V, maybe a little bit with Miss Tucson, have an excuse because I really haven't said anything to them because like they never affected my reading that I'm aware of, or like sudden changes happen like that. So the ones who I just listed don't have an excuse. So the ones who don't know is that I have OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorder. Which basically means like I like my things a certain way with a routine that if you mess with it, I tend to freak out. And I know Miss Bryant saw a little bit of it yesterday, but that was because like the whole situation that happened at school at the beginning when everyone was like fox scavenging for a tiger scavenging for food, which is like for like, and the tiger isn't sure if they're gonna get any food that night. So it's basically freaking out. Because they not know what's going on. Just to translate it into normal English, because I know some of y'all don't quite understand my dictionary yet. So just in case if y'all don't understand my dictionary. And well, for me, it's, as I was saying, it isn't, and like I tend to freak out, so but with yesterday's case, it was mainly because I didn't know what was going on, but it really wasn't fully that. Another case that you can fully rely on is when I was a kid, I had like Googleplexian numbers of slippers. I really had like 7, but y'all know I gotta be a little bit dramatic. So sometimes when my mom was aligning them, she used to mix them up. And oh my god, didn't that freak me out? I mean, like, as a kid, freaking out. You would know, honestly. Like, it was like more vulnerable than like my freakouts now. although that as a kid, like, I really, and even now, like, I can't fully keep up with, like, vocal vocab, but, like, I guess that's, I don't know, I can't, like, fully keep up with vocal vocab, nor can I with, as you all know, I can't with writing, but the weird part is, like, there's words that I can say, but there's also words that I can write, but I can't say. So with Parder-Willi syndrome, just to summarize it, as I know y'all know, I got off track a little bit. Parder-Willi syndrome is basically a genetic disorder that typically affects the 15th chromosome, but in my case it affects the 16th chromosome, which in a normal case it's P11 through P13, but in my case it is P12 13.11 through 12.3. So for me, for the rest of the so yeah, that's it. Typically to get eating disorders, eating disorder, because like they don't have like a typical sense, unlike me, with the digestive sense, like if you're throwing out, blah blah blah, unlike me, and and they also can get lazy eye syndrome, have lazy eye syndrome like myself, or be a shorty. Sorry, I was just laughing. Or be a short person with a person with short structure. Unlike me, as you know, y'all know I'm a tallie, so yeah, that's pretty much what Parder-Willi syndrome is. So, oh yeah, and also to recap this part, people with Parder-Willi syndrome have a 40% higher chance of having autism, which autism is cousins with other disorders. So you could have other disorders and autism. Like Parder-Willi syndrome is linked to OCD, and OCD can be linked to autism. Same thing with ADHD. And the same with ADHD and dyslexia with Parder-Willi syndrome. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see ya later. Bye!